Imagine you're walking into a negotiation. I give you one tip, which increases the amount you're able to take from that negotiation by 10%. Or you're about to go meet with a client, you've been trying to close this deal for a long time, and I help you go from a 25% closure rate to a 43% closure rate with a few small changes. Gentlemen, this stuff is real, and in today's video, I'm going to share with you 10 ways that image can improve your bottom line. Gentlemen, the thing I love about style is how you can use it as a weapon to get what you want out of life. Modern day business, I look at it as something that guys are going into. They want to succeed. They want to go in there and make their mark. And I'm excited when I can teach men how to dress in a way so that they can get more out of a negotiation, out of a business deal, be able to go in there and create that trust and confidence. In today's video, I'm sharing with you a lot of information. In the description, I'm going to link over to the support article. And by the way, guys, I'm also going to link over to my new coaching program. This is Style System VIP. Nothing else is like this on the market. So for years, I resisted coaching. It was just something that I was growing my business in different ways, wanted to put out more video, more content, more ebooks, but I felt I was putting out too much information and not enough transformation. So I've decided to bring back in this coaching program based off of my old style system, where we are going to spend one-on-one time. I know that guys are taking my information. They're going out there and they're buying clothing. They're going out there and they're trying to make some things happen, but they're running into roadblocks. They're running into problems. They're buying clothing, bringing it home and feeling helpless because it doesn't look nearly as sharp now that they've got it at the house. Well, guess what, guys? In our new Style System VIP, we are going to have parts of this program set up so you can speak with us one-on-one, so that you can be part of group coaching, so that when you go shopping, you'll be able to put us on FaceTime or be able to send us a picture so that we can help you buy the clothing so that you can become the man you know yourself to be. Guys, if you're interested, I've got an application down below, so go check it out. But now let's get into the 10 points. Example number 1 of how clothing helps you make more money. When you wear certain clothing, you are going to perform better. There's a study. They took white jackets. One group they told doctor jackets. The other group they told painter smocks. The people that thought they were wearing a painter smock didn't really do any better on the exam they took. The people that were in the doctor's jackets, because it made them feel, oh, wow, this is a doctor's jacket. They felt more authoritative. They felt more competent. And guess what? They performed better. And if anyone that's played sports knows this, when you wear the proper uniform, you actually feel and you perform better. And it does have a measurable effect. Example number 2 of how clothing affects the bottom line, it makes you a better abstract thinking. Specifically, formal clothing makes you a better abstract thinker. So this is based off a 2015 study, and what they found is when people wore formal clothing. The definition of formal clothing is clothing that you wouldn't normally wear when hanging out with your friends. If you are wearing a sports jacket with a nice shirt, maybe with a tie, with nice shoes, all that stuff that goes with it, all of a sudden you are going to perform better and you're going to think differently. Instead of thinking concretely, which is more at the lower level, you're going to think at the higher level. This formal clothing is having an effect on how you examine things. How does that relate to the bottom line? Because if you're an abstract thinker, if you're a strong thinker, that's one of the most sought after things in the world. So whether at work, you're going to perform better, or if you're running your own company, you're going to basically think in a way that's going to help you make more money. Example number 3 of how clothing helps you make more money is it plays on people's prejudices. Yes, that sounds bad, but people are prejudiced. They make quick decisions based off of what they see and their own experiences. They're going to look at you dressed nice and they're going to say, you know, this is someone that looks healthy, that looks like someone I would want to do business with. But if you don't look the part, it's the fight or flight. And this has kept people alive for millions of years. And if you know that first impressions are just so deeply embedded in people, and if you use that to your advantage, I'm not saying manipulate people, I'm saying give yourself the best option. Put yourself out there on the right foot. Example number 4 of how clothing is going to make you money, it's going to help you grab attention. Stand out in a crowded market. So anyone out there a realtor? Anyone out there maybe a consultant? How many people are doing this same exact job in your city? Probably a lot. So how are you going to stand apart? How are you going to grab attention when you walk in a room without saying a word? Now, I'm not saying be a clown and wear something incredibly bright, but I am talking about controlling that image, finding the look that works for you, that sends the message you want to send. Example number 5 of how clothing is going to make money for you, it's going to give you instant status. So status is something that's given to us by our peers, and it's something that in many cases is earned. But if you walk into a networking event, maybe it's someplace where people just don't know you, status is going to be assumed. And this is when what you wear, everyone just makes these split-second decisions. I had a client once, he was a programmer. He's in hanging out with a bunch of other programmers. They all had the same job title, but he always dressed a bit better. We're not talking suits or sports jackets. The guy just simply wore shirts that were button-downs that looked great on him, that fit him well. He went with a monochromatic look. Everyone else, t-shirt, jeans, shoes, that kind of stuff. Every time somebody would walk in, they would see this group of people, talking, hanging out. They would assume he was the manager. It happened so much, it was no surprise when he was promoted up. Now think about that. He was assumed to have the status of the higher level. Opportunity will come your way because you simply look the part. Example number 6, expectation match. So this is when in your mind, you assume what somebody is going to look like or how they're going to behave, and how does that match in reality. It's a great thing from our brain's perspective when this matches up, and when it doesn't, we try to make sense of it. So if somebody looks the part, you give them that good first impression. All of a sudden, when they don't, maybe they make a mistake, maybe they're late, you try to excuse that, because here's the deal, is you don't want to be wrong, because you want your expectations to be met. So if you're not meeting someone's expectation, if you don't look the part and you make a mistake, they're going to say, oh, well, that's what it just confirms my doubts about this person. So you want to be on the side of matching up their expectations, because this gives you the ability to make mistakes and to recover from those mistakes. Example number 7 of how clothing is going to make you money, intelligence and competence. So imagine what's a genius look like? Maybe Albert Einstein came to mind, maybe Tesla, geniuses have certain looks, and maybe you're a creative and you're trying to break into a field. You're going to interviews, but you want to show that with your image. You can wear professional clothing, but maybe you can bring in bright glasses. One of my favorite thought leaders is Seth Godin. And if anyone knows his style, they know his glasses and his bald head. Very distinctive in his style. The guy doesn't wear suits that fit him very well, but it's those things which enable him to stand out from the pack. Glasses in general, if you understand that basically a harsh frame, something that has a lot of contrast in and around your face, is going to make you look smarter. You can use that to your advantage. Another thing is that simply people that dress better are perceived as more intelligent. Example number 8 of how clothing can help you earn more money is the right clothing can send signals of authority and trust. Think about that. If somebody has authority and trust in a market, not only are people more likely to do business with them, to easily open up their wallets, they're more likely to spend more money, because at the end of the day, they trust them to get the job done. They're not also going to question them when they're making things happen. And if you are the expert, if you are darn good at what you do, doesn't that make it easier when you can just simply get to work and make things happen? Now, there's a classic study. They show a man in a suit jaywalking, and he was able to get 3 times as many people to follow him as a man who was simply much more casually dressed. Now, what's interesting is trust also comes with certain colors. Red being, there's a reason why I wore this red necktie. It is something that if I were to do this same video without any red, you would not trust me as much. In fact, I think the percentage was like 15 to 20% more people are going to trust a man wearing red. If you're going to get up in front of a crowd, learn to use red. Also, orange works. Other variances of red can work. And understanding that blue, especially true blue, can signal trust and make people like you more. So if you want to, basically show connection with somebody, maybe wear a blue tie. So there are things that you can use with color basically to help you grow your business. So this next example of how clothing can help you make more money, one of my favorites. It's a recent study in which they examined negotiations. They had students, and they had some dressed in suits, other ones dressed in sweats. And they called it the suits versus the sweats. And sure enough, the guys in suits dominated consistently again and again, on average, pulling 10% more from a negotiation every time they went in. The people that were underdressed, basically, they just gave up and were likely to concede in a negotiation. That's a big deal. A lot of negotiations, they are not win-win situations. They are over a limited resource. So if you can walk away with 10% more, that's a huge win. This next example goes a little bit beyond the clothing. It's about retention. It's about making a lasting impression. It's about when you meet with someone, when you engage with people, that they walk away saying, you know what, I don't know what it was about this guy, but I really liked him. And they remember you. Now, one of the best things that you can do, and this is more with your mannerisms and your etiquette, is that you can basically restate what you all just talked about. Maybe you were engaged with someone that you view as a potential client, talking with them for about 10 to 15 minutes. At the end of it, you summarize the key points they talked about, how you're going to follow up with them in the next 24 hours. This is the contact information you have, and it was a pleasure to meet you. Now, this person, not only were you listening and you paid attention, you recited back the key points they were trying to make, and they've been trying to make all night. And my gosh, who was this guy? I'm excited, and I am going to remember him. And it's that very important thing, being able to be remembered, for them to retain in their memory of you being someone they want to do business, is going to make that call the next day successful. All right, gents, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments how I could have made it better. I think there's a lot of information in this video. I'm going to link to a support article, which is going to go into a lot more information than what I was able to cover in this short video. And if you're interested in my coaching program, StyleSystemVIP.com. I'm going to link to it down in the description as well. We're taking applications right now. I'm doing applications because I want to make sure it's the right fit. I want to make sure that I'm bringing in people who really will take action. This is going to be an intense program. I've, ran hundreds of people through my older program. This is going to be taking it to the next level because I've never been able to, work with people so closely. I've now got a team who I can bring in and help support the guys that are going through this, because what I want is transformation. I don't want you just to be able to recite the information and to read stuff and passively absorb it. I want you to go out there and build a better life, to improve your business, to be able to go out there and do what you want to do with style, for you to be able to take this information, take action on it, and become the man you know yourself to be. Gentlemen, that's it. Take care. I'll see you in the next video.